I'm in the final preparations to plant this here piece of pasture, and I just wanted to quickly explain my strategy for bringing forestry, landscaping, hugelkultur, and forest farming all together to try to improve the soil over here on my land. Most forest areas are going to have a lot of ups and downs, sometimes because of rock, root structures in trees, sometimes trees that were upturned years prior and the root system lifts out of the ground, causing a depression and another mound next to it. But ideally, I would like to have all of this nice smooth terrain through here. And so the pigs have been helping with that by coming up on these high areas in some places and knocking them back a little bit. In the hollows down here, you can see I've got a lot of tree material that I took from the area right here. This would all be stuff that was either rotten or the tops of trees that were useless, and I laid that into the lower areas so that I now have hugelkultur in the ground, and it's helping to bring the grade up. In a moment, I'm going to use my pickaxe to try to knock down some of the high mounds and then rake that dirt over top of the wood that I have buried here, which is going to help with further decomposition. And then we're going to seed over top of that, and hopefully someday this is all going to feed a lot of rich nutrient into the ground and really help the pasture to grow better and help to level everything out through here. Bush cutters help to break up roots. I have here a tree that I've cut down that's root system is spanning over top of this little mound. So this here will help me before I try to drive my pickaxe through this to get rid of some of these roots. So now with the rake, I'm hoping to disturb enough dirt on top of the mound that seeds take to that, as well as rake enough down here to help decompose this and to plant seed out along this here area. Any rock that I take out of here, I bring over here to the fence running around the corral and put it at the base of my fencing to try to help shore that up. If I have a tree where the pigs have disturbed the roots around it, I'll often try to use my rake to pull a little bit of dirt over the exposed roots to help keep it from dying. Now is also my opportunity, anywhere I see trees that I had cut down and new sprouts are growing up, to get rid of all of this new growth. Because if I've already determined that this tree's genetics were not something that I wanted to continue here on this forest block, I don't want these little shoots either to grow up. So I think for the next few years I'm going to have a little bit of maintenance just coming through and trimming these back until the tree completely dies. And then I'm hoping the next generation of trees are going to come up from the genetics that are left remaining here on this block that are much healthier and have gone up into the canopy. We're now ready to plant this little section. I've been seeding by hand from this former cat litter box. It's actually been working great over here to keep the water out on days where it's raining, because I do try to time my seeding with rainy days. And I'm hoping to grow pasture right over top of this hugelkultur stuff eventually. And over top of the seed, I'm going to spread a little bit of hay. The hay's going to add a little more seed to the ground. It's going to shade the seed that's here and try to keep the moisture down so that it'll germinate. And I just have to try to make a fine line here between holding moisture down in shade and smothering the seed underneath. So I'm trying to spread this stuff pretty lightly. Although you want to plant on a wet day, you don't want your hay to be wet. I find if it does get saturated, it tends to clump together more and makes it harder to spread. Whereas if everything's dry, I just kind of shake it, and whatever falls out is what covers the ground. Let's not bury the rake. Okay, we use maybe a third of this hay bale just going around this area here in behind me. I've got to be using maybe 4 hay bales on every acre over here, which would be about $25 Canadian and at least another $50 in seed. So it's probably taken me about $75 or more, the best I can figure right now, to cover each acre. Plus a lot of labor. Many hours go into just picking the rocks and the raking, and I can't tell you how many hours went into the forestry work itself. So reclaiming an area is definitely a lot of work, and I don't know how it would weigh out in terms of commercial farming, the viability and cost of what I'm doing over here, but I'm hoping that it is going to work on a small scale for hobby farming if you care about your piece of property and you're interested in doing this. And we all sort of learn together here on our channel, because this is all new to me as well, and I'm just fingers crossed hoping all of this works out. So thank you very much for watching along. Like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it greatly.